This what is the meaning of the intelligence? Intelligence is our ability if to achieve some act or a goal. So we have a human being is having an intelligence. We have some neurons in the brain or whatever the biological system what we have. We have the intelligence due to which we can act. uh, we have the ability to achieve the goals whatever it may be the action. So intelligence is artificial. So our intelligence is a natural one, but here we are telling that artificial intelligence is an intelligence is artificial. So
Good morning.
how to build this intelligence artificial. So artificial intelligence is nothing but it's a science and engineering making intelligent machines. So to develop the intelligent machines, we have to develop a machine intelligently so that it can perform an action wisely. So that's we call as an artificial intelligence. So it's generally we in general is now it is from the past few years we are seeing that computers or human beings, also computer performs a task, but the thing is that we have to give the every instruction to that computer through the keyboard or through the mouse. So we are observing these things, but yeah, artificial intelligence it will have its own task by having the agents, intelligent agents. We call them generally intelligent agents. So AI will have every anything like computers, human or any intelligence except the biological observables. So now we AI is also going into the neural networks biologically also. So it takes some time, but currently biologically observe things are somewhat difficult and nowadays. So to achieve the goals, to perform the tasks, we artificially, not like a natural way, like our human beings, to perform any task intelligently, we call it as an artificial intelligence. So here, just we can see here. Uh, so when we want to act, we have some criterias. It has to act thinking humanly. It has to think humanly. It has to think rationally. So in 1960, psychology, information processing, psychology have been invented the behavior of a person. It has replaced. So AI, artificial intelligence, is also replacing now with the uh, human activities, either it may be a brain or internal activities or external activities. So that's what the artificial intelligence is going to do in the next days. By 2025, artificial intelligence will play a major role in our daily lives. So abstraction knowledge or circuits, in especially in the circuits, especially in the electronics, circuit designing. In circuit designing should have some knowledge. So that's an example. Human uh, human objects, the testing behavior of human objects, neurological data. So everything will come under. It has to think like a human. So think and has to take the decisions. Has to take the decisions in a proper way. That's nothing but thinking rationally. We call it as thinking rationally. Aristotle or Socrates, they have called this right thinking. What are the arguments we use as generally we call as a right thinking? Thinking and performing the action in a right way. So that means an artificial intelligence has to take an action, it has to detect something, it has to take an action, and when it will take the action, it also has to think like a human, and it also has to think in a rational manner. Should not be in an uncertain way, it should be in a certain way. So generally we watch in movies, we watch in movies they create these are the sample movies. There are a lot of movies are there. There are a lot of movies are there, out of which these few are we have seen this. iRobot. These people have used their mindset, their intentions in these movies. So if you watch these movies, you can observe what is an artificial intelligence exactly. These are the few movies at which the artificial intelligence is going to act. This is in real life, in our general life. So here, face detection is one example, and robot, a normal robot in Mars, formal verification of a circuit, games. So all these come under in a real life we are using, not only in the movies, not in the movies there's imaginary base. In an imaginary base they have created uh, their by imagining some things they have done something in the movies, but in real time implementing those things are somewhat difficult, but these are in real life, these are simple, so that can have we can have these real examples in our day-to-day life. So here in general life, these are also the examples. We can have labors, we can implement artificial intelligence in our labors and home appliances like washing machines or refrigerators or air conditioners. Science making and adopting in chemicals or finding or something. So these are a few examples for artificial intelligence where can we use. We can also use in medicine diagnosis and search engines. Nowadays we mostly depend on search engines like Google and Yahoo. So in recent days, when we search Google, we if we type something, if we type something in Google, it just shows its related topics, whatever we search in the Google. But now what will happen if we want to purchase something, if we want to purchase a refrigerator or if we want to purchase an ATM, we have searched in the Google which ATM is better, which refrigerator is better. So like that, something we have searched, then what will happen after next day or after 2 hours or 1 hour, what will, if we open some other websites like social website like Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is other than the Google, we can find the ads of that particular refrigerator what we have searched uh, previously in Google. We can see those ads in other websites also. So what is happening here, whatever we are searching in the Google or whatever we are searching in the Yahoo, it's reading it, and it's storing somewhere. Some algorithm has applied, and it is showing us after uh, after some time in other websites also it will show us. So what is happening, it will become so what will happen in the searching will become easy, the human life will become easy, so that based on that ads we can select our home appliances or whatever it is. So artificial intelligence will definitely play a major role in our lives in the next coming few years. So I about the artificial intelligence, we can also say that it's a collection of problems which are very complex, which are very complex, like natural language. For example, a country like India, we have a lot of languages. To find a lot of I mean, which language it is to change from one language to another language nowadays. um, since from past 1.5 or 2 years, we can see that Google also translates a it shows if we want to know a English word, if we want to convert a English word into Telugu or English word into Tamil or English word into something Gujarati or any other language of Indian language, it converts and gives us. And not only the Google, Microsoft is also having that software. um and other so many apps are there, so who can change the languages. So here it has to detect, it's very difficult to find out which language we are speaking, and which how to convert from one language to another language. So natural language is something a hard problem. So solving a collection or solving uh, a hard problem is also called an artificial intelligence. So generally, for artificial intelligence, we can't have any particular definition. We can't say artificial intelligence is this, artificial intelligence is that. So we can have these are all just what, yeah, to understand the artificial intelligence, we are just saying something. But exactly artificial definitions, we can't say anything. So like this is a medical diagnosis, circuit designing, and chess playing. Yes, chess playing should have a so much of intelligence we should have. So these are all the examples for the artificial intelligence. So Russell and Narving, Stuart Russell, we can see the book Stuart Russell. So he says that acts like human. So we generally called as it a Turing test. So it has to act like a human, things like human. Okay, and acts or things like rationally, as not uh, taking decisions is not the thing. Taking the decisions in logically and correctly is important. So if we see the history of artificial intelligence, so artificial intelligence is basically computer science and engineering. It's a combination of it should also have the hardware, and it also should have the software in philosophy, mathematics, and science and psychology. So in linguistics, everywhere it has started. Uh, uh, gen- it has started in 1943. Uh, So from 1943 to 1956, it has in the mathematical model of the neurons, artificial neural networks has come into the field. Artificial can realize the proportional logics, and then Alan Turing test. That means a machine, they have tested a machine can act as a human or not. This happened in the 1950. The birth of AI happened in the 1943. Uh, so information theory and possibility of chess playing computers, but they have searched for it. So especially Aristotle, these the things these people have So in after 1956, so most of the scientists have come into the field. One programming language, Lisp, we call as a Lisp, that has come into the field. Then later, there are so many languages have come into the field. So for to implement all these things, to implement the problem solvings, so Lisp language have come into the field. Then later knowledge-based systems, so which can store the data, which can have so based knowledge-based systems. So all these have implemented in the 1990s or 1980s. There's also came into the field into the industry. Uh, Commercially, those are available in 1980s. Then now currently there are more. We are going into more practical applications. For example, just we have discussed about the Google search engine itself. So Google search engine itself is a best example of Google search engine is a very much example of the current practical applications. So generally we use mostly we use this Google and all those things. So practical implementation is going more effectively nowadays. So the current trends, so artificial by 2025 we just move in more practical systems. So we have intelligence, we call it as weak AI or strong AI. And apart from this, we also have a super AI, super artificial, super intelligence, we call generally. So narrow AI, these types, narrow AI is a system, just one particular task. We just concentrate on the one particular task. So for example, Amazon's Alexa virtual assistants, we example are virtual assistants we call. We generally call this VKI or VKI or narrow AI. So here speech recognition automation, that means in for example automation vehicles, we are using about power windows and power steering. This automation is happening nowadays. The mobility, uh, vision of the robot, IR sensor or something adaptability. So in narrow AI, just it will consider only the a few simple concepts like speech recognition or a simple type of automation technique. So narrow AI generally we are so generally we are in the stage of narrow AI now. So this strong AI is considered when we give a particular task, but not a particular task. We give a mission. We it will find out the solution on its own. So it is a smart. It is smart enough to find a solution. So it will also it also find out a solution. It's a strong AI. For example, yeah, we can tell that driving a car, self-driving a car, or telling a joke, for the best examples. So self-driving car, it takes, so when we move from one place to other, the car has to move from right side or left side, or it will consider, it will take the input from the sensors, and it will act according to the uh, what what the information has come from the sensor, and it will take action that it has to move right or left. So a robot is telling a joke. Okay, it's playing some jokes, or it's playing something. So like this, a strong AI difficult. The self-driving car, it's not that much of easy, so it has to consider a lot of things. Whereas coming to the narrow AI, it's a simple concepts. In narrow AI we can consider, but in self-driving car it is difficult. So like these applications will be there in the strong AI. So we are passing on to the, from narrow artificial intelligence to strong artificial intelligence. So here super intelligence. So this is also one more. This is super intelligence artificial when compare capability of the machines will increase the human beings. That means human beings cannot control uh, the computers or the machines. So the machines will act on themselves, and machines will uh, take the decisions. And so generally we see in the movies, and they capture the world, they have taken the world where machines have taken the world. So okay, so fiction books we generally say it, but it will definitely come into the field uh, in the next few years. So artificial super intelligence will surpass the human beings. So generally, as we said, so artificial intelligence is important because so in like self-driving cars, chess playing heavily in deep learning and natural language processing. So these type of applications are there. So we can tell that up to here, these applications, artificial intelligence may be important. So now let us go to the areas where we can use this artificial intelligence areas. Here, mathematics, psychology, biology, computer science, robotics, social intelligence, philosophy. So neural networks, the artificial intelligence will play a major role in these domains, in these areas. So not only this, here we can see that functional AI, analytical AI, visual AI, and text AI. So these are few examples, and here in interactive AI, chatbots. An example: chatbots means the bot, a robot. It will chat, and the functional AI, Internet of Things, solutions, robots, analytical or sentiment analysis, or visual AI, that image processing, computer vision, and text AI means the speech processing and text recognition. So all these will cover the areas of artificial intelligence. These are not limited. These are not limited. These are not limited to these areas. Artificial intelligence can have many other areas also. So these are the applications where speech processing. So generally we use when we want to detect a particular person's speech. So speech processing is one of the application of artificial intelligence, and this is one example: machine translation. So message, now we are speaking one to another, but then machines will speak each other. So machines translation is one example. Facial recognition, this is also one to detect the faces. So virtual personal assistant, one best example is Google Assistant. Self-driving cars, chatbots with whom we can chat. So now these domains, neural networks, the main research is going on in the neural networks and natural language processing, robotics, artificial intelligence will so fuzzy logic systems and expert systems, nothing but the embedded systems or VLSA also will come under these expert systems and fuzzy logic systems. These are all the domains where currently we are concentrating on artificial intelligence. So let us see some broad things in the artificial intelligence in marketing and artificial intelligence in healthcare. How we are using just two examples. Let us see. So here, if we consider artificial intelligence in marketing, so AI generally, so it's offering a lot of opportunities, deep insights, fictionless accessibility, scalable experiences, one-to-one marketing. So when we want to deliver something like Amazon or Flipkart, they they are doing. It's not a small issue. Or can maintain an Excel file like that. They have to maintain a particular software, a particular database for the products what they are selling and all those things what other maybe other things, so many things are there. So in micro and macro and micro industries, so there are lot of opportunities that are there in the marketing in artificial intelligence. So this is some consumer perceptions AI in a survey. So here we can see that AI will make a society better or much better. 61% people have given that AI will give a better society. So 22% people have told that AI makes worse society. So 9% people are in confusion state. And so here a few uh, consumer perceptions, that means people's perceptions are there. So from this has been taken from a different uh, locality people and different mindset people. So these are the things. So next, if we see a market, so marketers they are saying that benefits from artificial intelligence directly. This has uh, taken from the marketers. So they are 98% people are saying marketers are saying that 98% AI will have the benefit. This is not 20%, please. This is 2%. So 2% people are saying that it will not. So implementation in the marketing. So low involvement, it is low. So for example, Photoshop photo tagging. So Photoshop means very less people will use, and low medium involvement, medium high involvement, and high involvement. Critical operations, advanced operations, these will come under the marketing. These will be useful for the MBA people, so marketing people. So how we have to use it, how we have to do that programmatic basic automation and all these things, which will come under the medium involvement and which will come under the medium high involvement. These are the levels of implementation in marketing level. This is about one-to-one marketing, which is called it as one-to-one marketing. Companies expected to get the uh, personalization rights. We can also only 15% companies are telling that expected to get the personalization, and revenues can be boosted up to $800 billion. So 96% executives are telling that personalization is important. 40% are telling that higher values will be important. So when we use the artificial intelligence, average number of ads using AI will become 73%. And programmatic ads, if we consider the ads, $45.7 billion in 2019. So it has become in 2019. It was $45.7 billion. So 87% greater than the previous one, and 30% people on an average it's increasing. So here one more thing is that fraud, maybe transparency, distrust, all these should also have in marketing especially. So we are discussing about fraudness also should be decreased, and if we use the artificial intelligence, it also will decrease. So that is about in the marketing. So one more example, we can see that artificial intelligence in farming. So in farming agriculture, in our country like India, so farming is a major business. We can't call it as a business, but it's a backbone to India. In farming, so from industry 1.0 to from industry 4.0, there are a lot of changes are coming in the uh, agriculture also. We have to give some backend support to the agriculture also. So this digital farming in by using the Internet of Things and all those things, 70% productivity should be increased by 2050. So this is what the target is by using the digital farming. So now the farmers are sorry to say that, but no, the farmers are somewhat uneducated. The educated people are not interesting to go to the farming side. So we have to make them educated. They have to use the digital farming, and it takes some time. So it will become by 2050. So farming, if also if becomes the digital, so definitely there will be a great thing. So why? Because according to the UN for Agriculture Organization, the global population will reach 9.2 billion by the year 2050. So if it is becoming 99.2 billion, like this means the global agriculture has to be increased. So we have to support the technology. Science and technology also need to support the crops and farming. So here also we have a lot of so we can use drones, we can use driverless tractors, automated irrigation systems, and crop health monitoring. So crop health monitoring is very important, because uh, if crop fails due to some disease or other things, so it will be difficult to get the crop. So these things are important in the agriculture. So Blue River technology, agriculture, robotics also important. Robotics also can be introduced to agriculture. These are few examples for Blue River technology. Smart sprayers to sprinkle the water or whatever. These are smart weed killing robots. So these, if we make these robots by using artificial intelligence, then it will be very easy for the farmers. So harvest through robotics, crop harvesting. So these are all this is also very important in the farming. So these we see very less, but these we have to implement all these things. Driverless tractor, so that farmers can have somewhat feasibility in them. So irrigation systems are also important. Production cost of uh, the crop should also be decreased. So in agriculture also it is very important. So in marketing and in agriculture, so artificial intelligence, we can have a major things. So in medical and health also. So the chronic diseases, we generally most of the people will have chronic syndrome disorder. So this health system will also have. So now the present situation is very much good example for the medical system, like Corona COVID-19. So researchers, so artificial intelligence, if we made some robots who can uh, which can diagnose the diseases, so it will become very easy uh, for the doctors also. So in medical healthcare system, so it also tried and implemented in 1976, and many uh, using artificial intelligence, many research has happened for the healthcare system, and there are a lot of successful things are also there. So using machine learning also, uh, artificial intelligence and machine learning also, there is a lot of opportunities we can have in healthcare system. So when we have applied as an this artificial neural network, uh, some diagnosis last we have used. So the rate of accuracy was 98.3, was the 98.31% as the rate of accuracy. So we just have seen now about the healthcare system and agriculture system and in marketing. Not only these things, there are a lot of applications are there by using the artificial intelligence, like we can go for like we have discussed natural language processing, and we have discussed about the Google search engines, and so a lot of opportunities are there. These three, I just have focused on these three areas because healthcare system and agriculture are the more we have to concentrate on those things. So I just have taken these two examples. So if we go somewhat deeper into the technology, uh, so here we have in artificial intelligence and their algorithms. So we have just seen now up to the what are the applications of and what are the domains we can use by using the artificial intelligence. There are a few types are here. We generally call algorithms. These algorithms we use in the we use in the artificial intelligence. So we call it as regression algorithms, classification and clustering algorithms. So one more algorithm, not only these three, one more algorithm also we can use. So in regression algorithms, the best example is predict the stock market price. So we can we have two types here, supervised learning and unsupervised learning. So supervised learning, we know we can predict that, we know the input, and we when we have know something about the uh, system, we will call it as a supervised learning. So output is a continuous quantity, so main aim is to forecast or predict. So we can call it as in regression also. We have some different type of algorithms. Linear regression we call it as. uh, Other classification, one best example is emails. When we see the Gmail or Yahoo or something mails we are using, it classify the mails as spam, no, not spam. Now we can also have that. Initially we would not have in Gmail, we are using since many years, but initially Gmail was not having any like classification in the mails. So every mail will come under the inbox or the spam. But now inbox mails also we can divide, like updates and primary mails and something. So these classification algorithms, this we call the classification algorithms. And clustering, these clustering algorithms, example k-means algorithms, we mostly use these clustering algorithms in the image processing and computer vision applications. So these, when we don't know the data, so for example, if we are giving an image and we want to segment it, we want to find out an object in that particular image, we have to segment that particular image, we have to take that particular object from that image, we have to divide that. So when, but we don't know which object is present in that image or not. So machine doesn't know that. When machine doesn't know that, and it has to detect that particular object, it has to calculate its intensity values, it has to calculate some its gray level values, or something it has to calculate. And similar kind of in this particular k-means algorithm, for example, k-means algorithm, it will just take the similar similar kind of pixels in the image, and it will give the output. So when we don't know the exact thing in the image or whatever it is, I just have considered image an example. So unsupervised learning, the clustering algorithms, when we don't know the particular things in that uh, material or image or video, whatever it is, then we use the clustering algorithms. So here a few algorithms. So here clustering, regression, clustering, and ensemble learning algorithms. So just here I have mentioned a few things. Classification is dividing into variables, and regression algorithms are continuous quantity, like we have seen. Best example is that stock market, prediction of the stock market. So this also we call as a supervised learning, because we know that what are the clustering algorithms, we don't know. When there is a similar kind of things, we just calculate and we use the algorithm. These are few algorithms what we use for the artificial intelligence. And here in ensemble learning algorithms, where the data is abundance and prediction precision is of high values. So where the high values will be there, uh, algorithms, uh, most high efficient algorithms when we want to use, not the algorithms, most high efficient applications we have, then we use ensemble learning algorithms. So these are the few algorithms for which we use the artificial intelligence. So these algorithms we have to use by using some tools. So few tools are TensorFlow is there, some Google ML is there. Different tools are available in the market. Open source tools are available in the market, so that we can use these tools and we can implement these artificial intelligence algorithms. So TensorFlow is one of the efficient tool which we can use C++ language or Python language we can use, and we can implement the particular algorithms of a particular application. So this is one example. So this is one more tool. Scikit-learn is a free software for the Python programming language. So by using Python programming, we can implement all those algorithms. So these are the tools which we can use. So these are few tools. Few other tools like H2O, PyTorch, Cafe, and Keras, MXNet. These are also the different tools available in the market, or we can download them. These are free source softwares to write the codes and implement the algorithms in artificial intelligence. So these are the programming languages for to implement the artificial intelligence. So these major program, not only these tools or not only these programming languages, so we may have different other tools also, but the I just concentrated on the major tools and uh, major programming languages. So here these five are the languages: Python, C++, Java, and Lisp and Prolog. So here these five programmings. So whichever the programming, it depends upon the application and depends upon the developer, which language they have to use, and they can use it. So if we consider tools, that's our intention. If we see, for example, the Python. So Python, the many developers are using the Python language now. Python is basically for the machine learning developers, because this is very less complex, and it can also supports in different operating systems like Linux, Windows, and so that's why also the Python a multi-programming language. So we can object-oriented language, multi-programming language, and especially in applications like NLP, natural language processing. Uh, Simple. It is a very simple language. It is having very ideal structure. So that's why the Python more developers are preferring now for the Python. So this is Python language is having many advantages. So supports algorithm. Python support it's an as I discussed, if we compare with Java, C++, Python is somewhat less complex. Developers, so it also have some drawbacks, mainly that it is not suitable for the mobile computing. So AI based on mobile applications, mobile computing applications. So this is somewhat difficult to implement. But for the gaming and uh, for designing the games and different applications, easy applications, Python. So using so slow execution processing time takes for Python is slow. So these are few drawbacks for the Python. If we consider the C++ language, it also have some advantages, and it provides faster execution. And another important factor, and the main thing is that we reuse of the inheritance. The main advantage of C++ is the inheritance. And so neural network framing, the C++ is advantageous. So in multitasking, the drawback of the C++ is that in multitasking it's poor. So also those who know about the languages, they can easily understand, especially for the computer science students or electronic students, they can easily understand that it follows the bottom up approach. So this is very difficult uh, for the C++ language. And Java generally, uh, not only in artificial intelligence, so from the past few years, Java is having a lot of uh, applications, and based on the Java, uh, more products and more, especially in computer science, more products have been developed. So Java is also suitable for in language processing for artificial intelligence. So Java can also be used. It is also having some advantages, and it is also having some disadvantages. So Java development still for to maintain for the artificial intelligence. So programming, some development is going on in the Java programming. So we can prefer Python instead of Java. And the Lisp programming is also easy, and it is also strong language for in developing the artificial intelligence algorithms. So it is also fast programming. So for in Lisp programming, the drawback is that it requires for a new software, configuration should be done for every new software. So it's somewhat difficult. Uh, Prolog is a best language, a suitable language for the artificial intelligence. It is also less complex, like Python, and it is also having the less drawbacks. So we can use Prolog or Python language. Not only Prolog or Python. These are few languages what we have seen. So the out of these languages, any language can be used by any developer according to their application and where they are feasible. So these are few languages. So if we consider the advantages, there are a lot of advantages for artificial intelligence. So it will reduce the human error. So generally, human being means definitely there will be some mistakes happens while doing some mathematical calculations, or also whatever it may be the actions performing. At that time, there may be human error may be occur, but for the machines, it's when we program it and when we're done, the human error may be less. Human error will not be there. So this one more thing, the main advantage is that takes risks instead of humans. When if we implement robots with artificial intelligence, they take the risk. They will take the risk. We can understand in military or in some. Uh, as I have just written here to Mars, to go to the Mars and these things. So where human can't reach, these AI robots can reach to the up to the risk level marks. So they may be available 24 by 7 and in repeated helping in the repetitive jobs. So digital assistance they will give and faster decisions, because if a human being wants to take a decision they will definitely think, but a artificial intelligence robot or any artificial intelligence machine, they will take the faster decision. For example, if we play any chess in our installing by app, if we play chess, then automatically we will take time to move take a move, but the other side a mobile or laptop or PC or whatever, it will not take time. It will fastly it will take the move. For example, if we take the chess game, so taking the faster decisions. So new inventions. So for example, in healthcare system recently, so a breast cancer have found by using the artificial intelligence based technological robot. It has found a lot. It has found. It has predicted the breast cancer. So this may be in new inventions and in new things. The artificial intelligence will definitely play a major role. So if we consider the disadvantages of it, so it maybe goes to the high cost of creation. To create it, it takes a high cost, and humans will become lazy. So most dependency will increase on the machines. So automatically the humans will start becoming lazy. That's one drawback. And emotions will not be there, as we have seen in some movies like that. Of course, they have created some emotions in the robots or something, but generally current situation, robots or whatever artificial intelligence based machines, they will not have the emotions. And we when we write and when we develop something, so we lose out of box thinking. So human will, as a human being becomes lazy, so it will be out of box thinking will not be there. And unemployment, and this is the major issue. This is the major issue of unemployment. So every organization or every company will think that uh, it has to take less work, less people to work. So robots maybe robots may replace the humans. So unemployment may increase. So just we have seen that. So what are the applications and what are the areas, what are the domains of artificial intelligence, and what are the basic algorithm names of the artificial intelligence, and what are the tools we have to use for the artificial intelligence, and what are the languages are there for the artificial intelligence, and what are the advantages of artificial intelligence, and what are the disadvantages of artificial intelligence. So if you have any questions, you can ask in chat box. You can write the question. I will answer to the questions. Yes, for natural language processing, yes, for NLP there are a lot of research. There is a lot of research is going on. So definitely the tools like uh, SCITIC and Google. So definitely there will be useful. We can definitely contact with the intelligence systems. So if we want natural language processing session, we can plan for it. No issue. No, yeah, artificial intelligence doesn't require any internet. If we use some Internet of Things applications, there will internet is required. But generally, if we want to make robotics or something, we don't require any internet. Yes, artificial intelligence in remote sensing. Yes, it can be implemented in computer vision, in image processing. Also, AI can be used. AI is not only up to machine level, machine learning or robotics. Artificial can also be intelligence can also be used for the remote sensing. Sorry, I didn't get the question. How can we apply AI as beginner? Applying for
Participants, you can unmute yourself and you can straight away ask the question also.
Yes, artificial intelligence in electric vehicle. The machine learning toolbox is available in the MATLAB, so we can use it.
Dr. Abhay Kumar Sharma is asking how far will be the penetration of in human life?
Penetrations. Sorry, sir, I didn't get you. Can you once elaborate the question?
Yeah, that's what I am asking. What kind of sensors used in medical applications?
Yeah, Professor, I can. I want. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
See, artificial intelligence is entering all domain. So, in future, how you see which domain like agriculture, like health science, and other business domain, which field will be more occupied with the artificial intelligence?
Sir, it depends upon the human behavior. Majorly, it will be on computer science applications like Google search engines and effectively in robotics and computer science applications. It will be more, sir.
So, in present scenario, I think health science should be benefited. Let us
Yes. Healthcare is
increase
also should
government
be
budget.
increased, sir. But the thing is that major research should be gone internally for the medical research. So AI, if medical research, if medically, if we are somewhat advantageous, then artificial intelligence will also become a good thing for medical system also.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So for PhD topic, you can contact us. We can suggest you. Someone has asked the question. For PhD in artificial intelligence robotics, we can guide you. You can just have a personal talk.
Javed, one more question. Can we use AI in development of formulations like tablets or capsules?
Yes, definitely. That's what I have shown one example. Um, in the last, we have found the medical what this breast cancer. So in medical field also, in pharmaceutical field also, the robots are designing so that they can develop the tablets. So everywhere we can use the artificial intelligence.
What is the basic needs to start learning AI? Javed?
Sir, listening.
Yeah. What is the
Uh,
basic needs to start learning AI?
So you should have somewhat Python language basics you should have, and AI is computer science based algorithms like supervised learning and unsupervised learning. So you should have some basics of learning technologies and Python language basics, so you can go through the artificial intelligence. Development of tablets.
If it is possible in remote sensing technology, which type of learning can be used?
So in remote sensing technology, unsupervised learning should have, sir, because in remote sensing, we don't know which type of uh, images or which type of material we will have. So definitely it has to be used unsupervised learning itself. Sorry, who is speaking? I can't hear. See, AI is not a programming language. AI is a technology. So AI uses the programming language. So Python is a programming language. AI is a domain. IoT is a domain. So just have a clarity here. Yes, other domains also can learn mechanical and ECE people can learn about the robotics. Not only that, now if we consider the electronics people, very large scale integration and embedded systems, everything is under the artificial intelligence. So not only the computer science and IT people, everybody can have about learn about the artificial intelligence. Python or MATLAB, that depends upon the developer. MATLAB is having its own advantages. Python is having its own applications. But coming to exact difference, Python is a simple language. MATLAB is somewhat complicated language. That's it we can say. But whichever we want to use Python or MATLAB, that depends upon the developer.
Hello. Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, I have small doubt regarding why Python language is only preferred, sir, in artificial intelligence.
Because of its complexity, not only Python, we can use list also, we can use Prolog also, Java also we can use, but Java in somewhat developing stage for artificial intelligence. But Python is in the gaming, especially the current scenario in the games. Artificial intelligence is making the games most of the in most of the cases. So Python is feasible in making the games. So Python, especially it's less complex. That's why Python is preferable.
Sir, only because of complexity it is used.
Yes.
Less complexity.
less
No
complexity.
other any
No, there are
construction.
no, there are a lot of things are also there. IDs what we use for the Python are also very easy, and Python can also be used in the Ubuntu. It's very feasible language. So there are some other things also there for the Python, but main major thing is the complexity and
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Javed, there is one more question.
yes.
Is it possible to detect the stages of cancer using AI?
Yes, computer vision is an application of artificial intelligence. Definitely, we can identify the cancer detection using artificial intelligence.
Another question, what is the most advanced AI today?
Most advanced is the gaming itself. Now, currently, games are preparing by using the artificial intelligence, and robotics is next stage. And one more thing is the searching techniques. Google search engines, Yahoo search engines. That is the major thing. Search engines are the major advanced technology now.
Are there any disadvantages to with the advantages of AI? If yes, comparatively risky or negligible?
Sir, once again.
Are there any disadvantages to with the advantages of AI? If yes, comparatively risky or negligible?
Of course, it's risky only. We can't neglect the disadvantages. In the future, after 10 years, we will come to know. We feel that some movies and like robot movie, we feel that it's a movie, but it may become true also. So we can't take it as negligible. Definitely, it will be risky only.
Except CS and IT, computer science and IT, can
Yeah.
others domain also can learn AI?
Yes, I have answered that question, sir. We can learn. So VLSI technology, power electronics, power systems, everything can come under the artificial intelligence.
What safety measures are to be taken so that AI can't get over humans?
That depends upon the human. See, for example, uh, mobile has been prepared. Mobiles we are considering as what informative and usable, but some people are misusing it. So we can't stop. We have to counsel them. We have to take some action against them. But as a normal persons, we can't do. We have to control ourselves. That's it.
And Python or MATLAB, which is best for AI?
And that's why MATLAB is having its uh, different applications, but machine learning toolbox is available in the MATLAB. Python is somewhat less complex, but MATLAB programming is somewhat complex. But that depends upon the developer, which they want to use, they can use.
Right. What are the requirements that need to be acquired for implementing AI in digital marketing?
Right. In digital marketing, as I have discussed Google, when we type some when we search for a particular product in the Google, definitely in the ads in other uh, websites, definitely it will show us after 1 hour or 2 hours. So in digital marketing, artificial intelligence algorithms will have a lot of scope. That's why I have taken the marketing example also now.
What is the difference between supervised learning and unsupervised learning?
So exemplar prediction stock market is a supervised learning. Prediction of what is containing in the image is unsupervised learning. So we don't know the exact output, we don't know the exact input. When we don't know some things, then we have to use unsupervised learning. We know the exact things about particular things, some particular things about about that particular task. We will have the supervised learning.
Difference
Sir, one
between,
question.
yeah, please,
Hello.
please carry on, please.
Sir, AI programming is not 100% accurate. How much accuracy is you prefer when we use AI as in a risky or some crucial project?
In medical, actually, it has shown up to 98.3% accurate. So everything is not ideal thing, but up to 98% it is accurate only, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Difference between AI, machine learning, and deep learning.
See, these are all the interlinked actually. Artificial intelligence can be used with other domains also. Machine learning and see, when you learn deeply, when you learn have everything, deep learning will come into the field. But artificial intelligence will have in every domain, in electronics domain and everything.
I think it's like AI subset of deep learning, subset
Yes,
of machine learning,
right.
then subset of data science.
Data science.
What is the scope of AI in defense field?
Yes, in defense field, definitely we can use artificial intelligence in robots manufacturing and autonomous vehicles. If we prepare the autonomous vehicles, autonomous combat vehicles, defense vehicles, definitely it will be useful. So if it can see, if a combat vehicle, if we are designing, and if it can't detect who is our soldier and who is other soldier, or not only here in every not only in the battlefield, in detecting language processing also. See, for example, some terrorists or some anyone have transmitted the data. At that time, the language it has to detect. So natural language processing will also come into the field, and combat vehicles, automotive vehicles also will come into the field, and robots we can directly, where we can't send our soldiers, we can't take risk our lives. So there we can send these robots in the battlefield.
Javid Garu,
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
is it useful? It means it is useful in the cybercrime, right?
Right. True.
Through the AI, it will be useful for cybercrime, means
Cybercrime.
whatever securities
Yes,
in the
security we
computers.
can. Yes.
Yes. And
Yes.
in the mobiles, we are seeing that nowadays we are transferring the amount from one account to
Yes.
another. So
One
maybe
other.
we use that.
Yes. True. Exactly.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Right.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Can we develop any games using AI, sir?
Definitely, using Python we can develop the games.
Okay, sir. Just now you said that we can use AI in cybercrime also. How can
Yes.
we, sir, then?
That's what I have. When some terrorists or some people have transmitted a data, either it may be an image or it may be a what we call this waves, our voice frequency, or some data. Definitely, we have to track it, and when we track it, it has to know that which language it is, what type of thing. Decoding has to be done. So in by using artificial intelligence, it will become very easy in digital signal processing and communication technologies.
Yes, sir. Only AI is only Python language is used in AI, sir.
No.
Or
I have
any other language?
they will use the languages.
Javed, can you repeat the answer, because you was muted for a bit?
Okay. We can not only the Python language. we have different other languages also like Java. We can this Lisp language is also there, and Prolog is also there. So according to the developer, according to the application, they will use those languages. But Python is little bit less complexer, so just everyone will go to the Python. That's it.
There is an interesting question in current situation for fighting against COVID. How better AI is useful?
Right. So actually, we have developed a small to detect the corona, say COVID, using the lungs. So it affects on lungs. So using the image processing by taking the picture of our lungs, and we can detect that. We have found some result also, but we are currently doing the research on it. Definitely, it will be useful. So research is also going on it using artificial intelligence itself against the COVID.
Actually, the participants, they are posting a lot of interesting questions.
Questions, yes.
Yeah. Before we answer for those questions, let me invite our director, sir, Dr. Samiruddin Khan, director of Sri Datta Group of Educational Institutions, to this forum. So I would like to have some few words about this webinar to all the participants. I request Dr. Samiruddin Khan, sir, to speak some few words.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to all the participants. It's only 2 minutes, so it's overwhelming response in the webinar. I am seeing that around 309 participants, minus me and 2 resource persons. It's about 305 participants, and I have been listening to various questions that are posed. That shows a lot of interest in the participants. So one thing I want to say or like to say is that we are in the Industrial Revolution 4.0, which is exactly what this webinar is about. Everything will be going to be AI. Many of you had fear that, how should we prevent AI to take over human beings? One point I would like to very clearly mention in my addressing is that AI cannot overtake human beings. We are the most intelligent creation of God. AI is a science that makes machines behave like human beings, but it will not make machines human beings. That's what you need to understand. And it will take 99% of jobs in the farming sector. It will take almost 99.9% of the jobs in the construction sector. All the mundane jobs, all the normal routine jobs will be taken over by AI. And those people who are normal persons and skill sets have to worry more, because if they know only typing and they know browsing and they know only cutting and pasting data, their jobs will be no more, or the routine jobs will be no more. And the jobs which require a lot of creativity and a lot of human thinking, a lot of cognitive skills will increase in number. So the intelligent human beings will have a lot of jobs available for them to enrich and enhance the AI applications. And of course, whoever are from the teaching side should be very happy to know that AI will only replace 0.75% of teaching jobs. So teachers will be more in demand, because no technology can replace a teacher. And whoever are trying to relocate in their career perspective, if they want to shift from their current job to a more challenging job, I think AI is the best option for you, because AI and ML will rule the world in the coming days. And for that, the best thing is you can start learning Python and languages like R programming. Python is much simpler to learn because a lot of built-in functions are available in that. So as Javed sir rightly told, the language is much simpler to learn, and it has much features to offer you. Especially it has built-in libraries that can help the programmers to write the programs in a more agile way. And every field is using AI now, be it medical science to detect cancer, be it medical science to come to the aid of doctors in detecting COVID-19 cases, be it gaming, be it every simple application has got AI. If you see your Google search engine, it has support of AI to search smarter. Google has support of Google Analytics that will track your movement. If you just type Google Analytics and see, it will show you in which places you have moved around the day you have enabled Google email. So everything is AI. Simple examinations which are conducted for MCET are having AI-based support, and complex examinations which are conducted by industries for screening the candidates for jobs also has got AI factor. They will see the proficiency of the candidate, what kind of questions the candidate is answering. If the candidate is more good in answering simple questions, automatically this AI logic will start asking tougher questions. So this is what AI is. And please understand that AI is not to replace human beings. AI is to only help and aid human beings, because human intelligence is something which cannot be replaceable unless God wants it. So that's what I have to say. And I'm very happy that all the participants are asking very genuine kind of questions. And I have seen Javed answering every question. It's very appreciable that he is able to answer all the questions, of course with the help of Dr. Senthil Kumar. So I wish that such kind of intellectual questions are posed by you in every day of life, because one of the ability which human beings only possess, the art of questioning. We cannot generate that kind of intelligence in the AI machines. Hope so 20-30 years after now, there might be a chance that we may create a humanoid which behaves like a human being, but still the emotions factor is concerned, the sentiments factor is concerned, the way we smell is concerned. So there's no replacement for that. There are so many online courses on AI and ML. Now any student who is associated with a college can also for free of cost join courses in AI ML in Coursera, because colleges are sponsoring it. So this is the right time where you can develop your skill sets. I think now is the time where industry is very agile, and industry is looking for those people who do research, who has done some research, who has some kind of work done in AI ML. So anybody who wants to shift to the corporate, AI ML is the best tool for switching from the current field to the corporate field or a much challenging field. So my congratulations to all of you for attending this seminar and the webinar. So we have to forget about seminars for some days or some months, because we don't know still the cure will come in coming months or not for COVID. But yes, technology is great and it has enabled us to continue with our activities or intellectual
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your effective and wonderful words towards this webinar. And let me continue with 2 or 3 questions more. Some interesting questions they are asking. Is it possible to use this AI technique in cybercrime?
Yes, we have already answered that question, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then, so please participants, I hope the session is very good, and still if you have any questions, you can please unmute yourself and you can raise the question to our resource person, Mr. Javed. And regarding the feedback form, so I will share in the chat box now. So you can start immediately give the feedback about this webinar. And I want to give one more instruction to all the participants that once you submit the feedback form, you will get your e-certificates directly into your email. So sometimes if you are not getting the e-certificates, don't panic. So it will be delivered to you by today evening, otherwise tomorrow morning, so that you no need to worry. So after you submit your feedback form, you please wait for 1 or 2 days. Your certificate will be delivered if it is not going to be delivered by today. So is there any questions from any participants? And one more question, what type of sensor can be used in AI technology? Sensors.
So that depends upon the particular application. There are a lot of sensors available to us. For medical ECG sensors are there. There are a lot of sensors. So that depends upon the application.
Right. So I thank one more question. As you said, we have to be very careful. Okay. As you said, we have to be very careful with the dealing while dealing with the AI. What if there is a loophole? Like if we make a small mistake in programming an AI machine, how do we manage the consequences?
Definitely, the technology should answer the technology. If we done the mistake, then definitely we have to rectify it. Technology should only answer to it.
Okay. Thank you for all the participants for joining today webinar on perspective view on AI. So now I am sharing the feedback form in the chat box. So please everyone fill up the form, and the same feedback form will be posted in WhatsApp group also. So you can click on the feedback form and you can start submitting feedback form today. Yeah, can we use MATLAB instead of Python language? Another question.
Yes, we can use already in 2020 MATLAB. The machine learning toolbox have included by MATLAB, so we can use it.
What are the main disadvantages of AI? General.
Generally, that's what we have discussed in the.
Yeah.
Just one.
Again, the same question. Okay.
Yes, unemployment, no emotions, lack of so high cost creation. So these are the disadvantages what we also discussed at the time of webinar.
What will be the effect of collaborating AI with 5G?
Definitely, the internet speed will increase, and what we are using now due to the COVID-19, we'll have application of it using the 5G.
What will be the impact of AI in future?
Yes, as we have discussed in agriculture and in construction, as sir has discussed in agriculture, and everything will have the impact of artificial intelligence.
And as a few participants, they are asking about the PPT slides. Oh, definitely we will share. Be in touch through WhatsApp group. We will share all the materials in the WhatsApp, and even I am recording the session also. So most probably after I'll upload in the Google Drive. After that, I will provide the link for all the participants. Be in touch through WhatsApp. Right. So the same feedback form I have posted in WhatsApp also now. So those who are not getting the information here, you can post there. Right. So thank you once again. I thank all the participants for joining this webinar session.
Hello.
I hope this session is very useful for all of you. So take this information as a spark for your life. And here we end the meeting. Javed, shall we end the meeting?
Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for all.